Exclusive Naruto videos lemon come out on my Boosty. You can watch and subscribe. Link in description. Enjoy watching. Description: what to do if you woke up in the body of a 12-year-old girl. What to do if your whole family ignores you and you never had any friends. Of course, change everything. When Naruto were the Uzumaki afraid of difficulties. Chapter 1 Prologue. Why? Was the first thought that visited the blonde head of the hero of the Fourth Shinobi War. Opening his eyes, Naruto saw a white ceiling, which didn't surprise him at all. After all, his last memory was of fighting an enemy shinobi somewhere on the border between the land of fire and wind. He remembered how he successfully defeated the enemy until he used an unknown technique. Then there was a strong gust of wind, a blue sphere, and then darkness. And now, opening his eyes, Uzumaki thought that he was in a hospital. However, there is a huge, simply fat, but does not allow the young Anbu captain to concentrate. Why can't you smell the medicine, and why is the bed so soft? After thinking a little, the blonde creature came to the conclusion that this was not a hospital. Then where is he? Looking for an answer to his question, Naruto took a sitting position, suppressing the urge to lie down again and close his eyes. It was a room. The most ordinary room. However, the notorious, but again haunts me. Not his room. Having examined the room, Naruto noted to himself some details. Firstly, there was perfect order. Secondly, the arrangement of furniture was the most ordinary. There was a closet opposite. There was a table near the bed, nothing to indicate the owner of this apartment. The Uzumaki reached for his hair to ruffle it as usual, but his hand stopped halfway to its destination. Why is his hand so small and feminine? Not even that. Girly! Naruto, come down to me! The voice of a shaggy rug rang in my head. Within a second, Uzumaki was in his inner world, where Kurama, the nine-tailed demon fox, his partner and one of his best friends, looked at him with mockery and slight concern. What happened, Kurama? He asked in a voice that was not his own. More squeaky, it should be noted. The next moment he looked at his reflection in the water, which was always present here. A girl of about 12 was looking at him, with thick blonde hair that was now falling like a waterfall from her shoulders, blue eyes and 6 symmetrical stripes on her cheeks. What is this? Well, you're a girl now, the fox said with a poorly concealed laugh. I already understood this. Why am I a girl? Although he served for 10 years in the Umbu, survived the war, and was on the verge of life and death more than once, this did not help him restrain the hysterical notes in his voice when this fact fell on his poor head. While you were sleeping, or rather coming to your senses, I found out everything. In general, we are in a parallel reality, my young friend, Kurama said. That shinobi used a technique that transported us to another world. And, as you already understand, here you are a girl. While you were passed out, a merger with her occurred, so when you come out, all the memories of you from this world will fall on you. He warned Kyubi, which did not ease the condition of his Jinchuriki. We were thrown here because the current you didn't want to live, to put it simply. So your soul absorbed her soul and settled in her place. The girl was also a Jinchuriki. I already managed to absorb that Kyubi, so there will be no problems with this. Naruto slowly absorbed the information he received from his friend as he continued to speak. So, what else? Your parents are alive here, you have an older brother, and your Uchiha also moved with you. Fox. Stop. Is Sasuke here? What did he forget here, Databeo? Is that the only thing you care about? For rug Naruto sighed heavily Uzumaki. At the last moment, I managed to detect his chakra not far from the battle site. He fell under the influence of technology, so this red-eyed monster also ended up in this world. I think he ran to your aid, but he was too late. The guy, or rather the girl, exclaimed. Or a girl? Oh, it doesn't matter. But she felt better that his best friend was here. This means they will get out together. You will learn the rest from the memories. Now go away, I need to sleep, otherwise I spent too much chakra. And he was thrown out of the subconscious. That's the red monster. Then all the memories of the girl from this world came flooding back to him. Nothing good, I must say. When the pictures of the past stopped flashing before her eyes, she was finally able to calmly put everything on the shelves. Her name is Namikaze Naruto. She is the daughter of the fourth Hokage of the Leaf Village, Minato Namikaze, and former Jinchuriki Kyuubi, Kushina Uzumaki. 12 years ago, the Nine Tails did not break out of the seal, but the seal itself became very weak after the second birth, so the Hokage decided to reseal the fox into a newborn daughter, leaving some of the tailed chakra in his wife. This helped her, Kushina, survive, but she would no longer be a kunoichi. Naruto has an older brother, Akira, who is 16 years old and is the jonin of the village. Family relationships, terrible. Everyone ignores the girl, and they are also afraid of the monster locked inside her. Several years ago, Kyuubi tried to break out of the seal, scaring the whole family, but his father and brother were able to pacify the creation of Rikudo, and it no longer rampaged. But because of this, the whole family stopped communicating with her. The girl was withdrawn into herself, she had no friends at the academy, the teachers ignored her worse than her family. Not without surprise, Naruto learned that the Uchiha clan was alive, well and thriving. And her mother often communicates with Mikoto, the mother of Sasuke and Itachi. And Konoha itself blooms and smells under the wise leadership of Minato. A fun life, in short. The joy was that, although the girl was unsociable, she approached learning and training thoroughly. She was a genius in the field of Fuinjutsu, which Naruto himself could boast of. She was well developed physically, taijutsu was at the highest level, and her chakra channels were well developed beyond her years, as well as control. The former owner of the body could easily walk on trees, water, walls, and could demolish a tree with her fist, like Tsunade, by investing more chakra. At least something, Naruto thought. He is still far from his previous strength, but all his knowledge is with him. Kurama is nearby, and Sasuke is somewhere nearby. Even though his head ached from the realization of everything he had found himself in, and there were more and more problems and tasks every second, Naruto thought that he could handle it. Or he's not Uzumaki Naruto. Let's break through. Part 1. Having digested all the information, Naruto got out of bed and walked over to the closet with his clothes. He opened the door, and fell into a drop. Why is everything black and gray here? After delving into his memories, Naruto realized that the previous owner of the body did not like to stand out and attract attention at all, so she wore clothes that were more suitable for funerals than for everyday events. Sighing heavily, Naruto came to the conclusion that he wouldn't be able to walk in this anyway, so he started looking for something brighter. And what luck! After 10 minutes of searching, at the very bottom of the closet, he dug out a magnificent, in his purely personal opinion, orange jumpsuit. The same one he wore as a child, in that world. It was really luck. Next, he needed to get himself in order, namely, go to the shower, wash his face, and so on the list. Half an hour later, Naruto stood near the mirror, assessing his appearance. Seeing yourself as a girl was strange and unusual, but you need to get used to it. Doing almost all the procedures automatically, apparently, the memory of the body and the habits of the local Naruto affect him, he coped with it very quickly. Tying his long hair, which now reached his lower back, into 2 tails, Uzumaki, now Namikaze, smiled to himself. However, then he realized that now he would have to go down to his family for breakfast, and the smile instantly disappeared from his face. It would be hard. Taking all his strength into his hands and praying to all the gods he knew, Naruto opened the door to his room. Following the memory of the previous owner of the body, he quickly found the kitchen, where all the members of his family were already sitting. On the way, he examined the house, noting some details to himself. Ever since he became an Umbu captain in that world, he analyzed and systematized information automatically. And not to say that this bothered him. On the contrary, it helped in absolutely any situation. In the kitchen, everything happened as in an ordinary family. Naruto was even surprised. Kushina stood near the stove and cooked, simultaneously managing to scold Minato for reading a newspaper at the table and listening to Akira's story about the mission. Naruto immediately became obsessed with his brother. Akira, as he found out from memories, was a very strong jonin, the pride of the family, and just a pretty good person. He could often be seen on the street with friends and acquaintances. When the girl walked around the village in splendid isolation, he was the life of the party and was respected and appreciated in the village. At home, he was a caring son, always helping his mother with household chores when he had time between missions, and his father could completely freely discuss the affairs of the village with him, knowing that his son would understand and advise. Uzumaki couldn't help but feel proud of his Nai-san. However, her relationship with him, that Naruto, was the same as with her parents. Complete ignorance, and sometimes Naruto could feel fear. Of course, she understood that they were afraid not of her, but of the fox. But this did not make her any less offensive. He found out all this from Naruto's memory Namikaze, and he himself swore that their relationship with Nii-san would be strong. He will do everything for this. Good morning. He spoke quietly, suppressing the desire to rush into his mother's arms, in order to attract attention to himself. Not to say that he had to play here. After all, it wasn't easy to be in the same room with your parents when you thought they were dead all your life. The whole family instantly turned their gaze to the boy, now a girl. Why look like that? But since he decided to slowly get out of the image of that girl, then he had to start somewhere. As memories show, the former owner never greeted the family, trying to make everything as inconspicuous as possible. Sometimes they really didn't notice her. Let's start small, I decided, and Uzumaki. Lowering his head, Naruto sat down at the table next to Akira and began to eat his breakfast, which was already on the table. Good morning, Naruto, Ka-chan said quietly. My father and brother simply ignored him and continued talking. The Jinchuriki was silently eating an omelet when he remembered the Uchiha. Resisting the urge to curse out loud, Naruto bit his lip. After all, Sasuke doesn't have a talking rug to clear things up. You wouldn't wish it on your enemy to wake up and find out that your clan is alive, and you're in the body of a 12-year-old teenager. Although, Naruto found himself in almost the same situation, if you think about it. As he remembers, Sasuke in this world is no different from that Sasuke. Except that he shows more emotions. Sometimes. Still an Uchiha, damn him. He just hoped that everything would go well with his best friend and that they would see each other at the academy very soon. Well, since no explosions were heard from the Uchiha quarter, then everything was much better than he could have imagined. In his thoughts, he didn't even notice how he finished everything. The family completely ignored him, absorbed in their own affairs, which is not surprising, so Naruto quietly thanked his mother for breakfast, again putting everyone into culture shock, quickly ran out of the kitchen, put on his shoes and ran to the academy. Walking through the streets of Konoha, the Konoha that it was before Pain's attack, Uzumaki remembered old times with his friends from that world, remembered all the things he did to get attention, recalled his difficult childhood, his first missions with Team Number 7 and much, much more. Little by little he tried to let go of that life, to accept himself as Namikaze Naruto, completely merged with that personality. He reached the academy after half an hour of slow walking. Sighing heavily, he walked along the familiar corridors and opened the door of a familiar classroom. And again glances directed at her. Yes, how much is possible? Looking around at his classmates, he stopped at one, gloomy and emitting a feisty aura. Naruto grinned and, ignoring everyone and everything, went straight to the Uchiha. Sasuke glared at him the short way from the door to his desk, then continued when he sat down next to him. But that look was so close and dear that Naruto suppressed the desire to smile. For the first time in the morning, smile sincerely. Hello, Snake. He said his call sign quietly so that no one would hear. The Uchiha looked at him a little more, then smiled in an Uchiha way, with only the corners of his lips, and chuckled. Long time no see, Lise. He answered just as quietly, but Naruto's heart felt so warm and calm. He is not alone, and now you will explain everything to me, Uzumaki. After dragging Sasuke away after class so that no one would notice them, Naruto led them to the training ground where the former owner of the body trained earlier. And succumbing to emotions, the Jinchuriki hugged his best friend, inhaling the already familiar smell. The Uchiha, without hesitation, responded to this action, hugging his friend tighter. I'm so glad you're here too. He shared his thoughts and felt Sasuke smile into his shoulder. In that world, only he could see that rare smile on the lips of his best friend. Only with him could he show the emotions that were hidden in him under the mask of the Uchiha clan. A mask of coldness and detachment. In common people poker face. When I woke up in the morning and then felt the chakra of literally the entire clan, I thought that I had completely gone crazy. And then Itachi came into the room. Sasuke began his story, without letting go of his other friend's embrace. He said that Mom had prepared breakfast, and everyone was just waiting for me. When he left, all the memories of that Sasuke fell upon me at once. My head still hurts, to be honest. The teenager complained. My clan is alive, Itachi Jounin of the village, there was no coup and is not going to, and my father head of the clan. Family relationships, I wouldn't say ideal. I live in the shadow of my older brother, my father only looks at him. Mom, she's just a mom. She loves me and Itachi equally, tries to help each of us equally. Naruto felt how hard it was for his friend, so he listened silently, offering his support and understanding. My first desire was to kill them all, then the realization came, and then I just wanted to kill them. And at that moment I awakened the Sharingan. Just now, just imagine. Got indignant, he sneezed, which made Naruto smile. Physical training is at the level of me from that world, chakra control is better. I know more fire techniques, and that's it. Sasuke finished his confession, and the friends finally unclenched their embrace. Looking into each other's eyes, they sat down under the nearest tree, shoulder to shoulder, where Naruto talked about his awakening, about his family and former owner. We are in a difficult situation, Sasuke. Uzumaki said, yeah, but you've become a girl. Although I always said that you are, Uzumaki. The Uchiha snorted, and the above-mentioned snorted indignantly. Team Dobe. And it became so easy after this short skirmish. It's as if all the problems have faded into the background. Still, no matter what anyone says, Uchiha good people and true friends. For so many years, Naruto was convinced of this more than once or twice. And he was just lucky that Sasuke Uchiha is his best friend and his loyalty is his. And now, the two of them are against the whole world. Again. In her head, the red-headed schizophrenia showed signs of life, reminding her that there were three of them here. The chakra source was pleasantly burned with heat, causing a smile to appear on the face of the future Kunoichi. Part 2. After talking with his best friend until the evening and agreeing to train tomorrow after the academy, Naruto wandered home. After talking with Sasuke, his soul felt much lighter, as if all the weight of this world had been removed from his shoulders at once. However, the closer he got to home, the more he became overwhelmed with anxiety and sadness. All his life he tried to be an optimist, literally the sun for all of Konoha, and then he was transported here. To this damn world. Now he is constantly surrounded by sadness, loneliness, and fear. And all his life Naruto tried to push all these feelings away from himself. And now again. What to do next? How to drive away all the darkness from yourself? Uzumaki didn't know the answer to this question, but no matter what, he would do it. He did it once, he will do it now. Here I recognize you, Naruto. A familiar growl sounded in my head. Kurama! I advise you to start talking about yourself in the feminine gender. Otherwise you'll get burned again, Kami forbid. It's not easy, you know, when you've been a guy for more than 20 years, and now girl. And then he descended into his subconscious, straight onto the head of the Nine Tails. He muttered something, but didn't get it out of his head. I'm used to it already. When you let go of your past, a complete merger of your souls will occur. Then you will feel better. Fox continued his thought. You did well today, Naruto. I'm glad that you're with me. He repeated the words Sasuke had said earlier, trying to talk about himself in the feminine gender. Kurama growled contentedly. Come on, go, you're already near the house. His friend notified him, and he jumped off his head. Intensified training awaits you starting tomorrow. I promise you this. I'm driving. Returning from his subconscious, Naruto saw the door of his house right in front of his eyes. Using his sensory abilities, he learned that all of his relatives were at home, surprisingly. After all, it's not often that Hokage's father comes home earlier than night. Sighing heavily, he opened it and entered his place of residence. He took off his shoes, walked into the room, and saw the whole family staring at him. Naruto resisted the urge to roll his eyes. Ni-san looked around his body, as if looking for something, lingered on his face, and then turned away. Ka-chan bit her lip and wanted to say something, but didn't. Oto-san simply looked into the eyes of his daughter, and then turned away sharply, afraid of something. Or someone. And again this burning desire to roll my eyes. When will this end? Well, nothing, Naruto, you are strong, you went through, there was a war, you won. And Jubi, so be it, so you can handle 3 members of your family. Someday. Not everything happens right away. Sometimes you need to put in a lot of effort to get results. He already knows that. Hello? Uzumaki said quietly, without changing his image. And without waiting for an answer, which would not have come anyway, he turned around and went to his room. It's been a hard day and he needs to rest. Entering the room, Naruto immediately plopped down on the bed. As soon as his head touched the pillow, he was carried away into the world of dreams. The next day, a written test awaited them at the academy, which Iruka-sensei so kindly prepared. Having rummaged through his memory, Naruto learned without surprise that she was very smart in this world, but did not stand out from everyone, successfully solving tests with a solid satisfactory. In the end, Uzumaki decided not to change the traditions of his past self, so he answered some questions correctly, and some, as they say, from a fool. Having solved the entire test, he plunged into his inner world, where he and Kurama discussed the training program for the coming months. As the future Kunoichi correctly calculated, there are 3 months left before the Genin exam, and then there will be distribution among teams. Naruto hoped with all his heart for the former composition of Team Number 7. Next will be D-rank missions, which all the Genin loved so much. A fun life will begin, however. It is still unknown what will happen to Orochimaru, Akatsuki, Madara, and a cloud of other unpleasant personalities. What matters now is restore its former strength. Or at least part of this power. For starters. The lesson is over, Iruka announced just as Naruto emerged from his subconscious. He looked at Sasuke, who was sitting to her right with a lean expression, and snorted. Quietly so that no one hears. Only his best friend. What is it, though? The Uchiha asked mockingly and just as quietly. Team, I've just always been amused by your arrogant mask. Sasuke-kun. Before the red eye had time to answer, something pink flew at him. More precisely, this something jumped over the desk and pushed away the quiet Namikaze with its butt. Naruto laughed internally from the expression on Sasuke-kun's face when Sakura began to tell him something about his beauty. Ino sat on the desk itself, looking at her idol with loving eyes. Uzumaki, without saying anything, collected his things and left the class, since the lessons were over and he had nothing else to do here. Within 10 minutes he was at the training ground where Naruto usually trained Namikaze, and later the idol of the entire ninja academy himself appeared. Sasuke looked very irritated and angry. A black aura hovered around him, indicating the desire of its owner to kill everyone and everything. How are you, Sasuke-kun? Naruto sang mockingly, causing his friend to involuntarily flinch and send a look of death at her, or in another way Sasuke's signature look Uchiha. What about Uzumaki? Uzumaki nothing. Uzumaki is already used to it. I'll give you a kunai now, Naruto-chan. The owner of the Sharingan did not remain in debt. How evil we are! What is it? Are there really too few fans? Would you like me to run a promotion? Naruto-chan, continued the mockery. Dobe, I won't even look at the fact that you're a girl. Here you go, Uchiha Sasuke in person and in all his glory. The eyes sparkle, the fists clench, but no steam comes out of the ears. Let's have fun, team! The teenagers competed in taijutsu. The familiar flame of excitement was already burning inside them. It's been so long since they've sparred. Here Sasuke tries to strike, but the girl with enviable speed moves away from under his hand, then makes a sweep. The Uchiha jumps up, avoiding Naruto's attack, but she makes a feint and jumps out to the side of the boy. He didn't even have time to trace with his Sharingan. The Uchiha quickly turns over in the air and launches a fireball at her as she flies. Landing on the ground, he sees a safe and sound Uzumaki, who is already running towards him. They meet again in pure taijutsu. Hit. Block. Hit. Block. Sasuke makes a sweep and Naruto falls to the ground, but the next moment he disappears into a puff of smoke. And again the Uchiha did not have time to trace when she created the clone. I won! Naruto pointed at Kunai. Sure, Sasuke used the replacement technique and found himself in a nearby tree, with a log lying in front of his girlfriend. Sure. And again Kunai. The Uchiha grinned, thereby admitting defeat. I know you better than you know yourself, Sasuke. Let's see who wins, Uzumaki. It was a challenge. And Naruto gladly accepted it. The soul rushed to heaven.